Good afternoon, Flying Pig. Good afternoon, Big Dunk.
Alright, how's it going, mate?
I'm okay.
Good afternoon.
Now listen, I don't want you two to get too cocky with me this afternoon.
Why would we do that?
Because you're in a Champions League final. Suerte, as they say in Espanol. Suerte.
No, not sweating.
You were lucky.
No way lucky.
Yes, you were.
I'll tell you what, if we were lucky, Real Madrid were twice as lucky.
I think I would agree with you, and we've got lots and lots of stuff to talk about today. It'll be a brilliant show. We've got Mandy over there. After three, lads, 1, 2, 3. Who let the dogs out? Who let the... Now listen, that isn't a reference to what Mandy looks like. It's just into a big dog rescue thing, isn't she?
Yep.
So we're going to be talking to Mandy probably in about 10 to 15 minutes. It's a strange show we've got the game. We've got the Premiership games, of course we have, but we've got no Championship games because next Sunday, as you know, it's the tomorrow's the Super Sunday for the Championship, isn't it?
Yeah, tomorrow afternoon, yeah.
League One games today, they all kick off at 6:30 Spanish time, 5:30 English time. We've got League One, we've got League Two, we've got Scotland. We're in the second phase of the Scottish games, and we've got a game on at the moment. Big Dunk, what's happening at the moment?
Yeah, it's Stoke 1, Crystal Palace 1, mate. Stoke went 1-0 up in the first half through a great free kick from Shaqiri, but James McArthur's just pulled it back about 5 minutes ago for Palace, and there's about 17 minutes remaining.
And Stoke have to win here, Big Dunk. There's no doubt about it. Stoke have to win.
Yeah, they're throwing it away at the moment. It's not looking good.
Okay, we're on 73 minutes. I'm just watching the other screen. I'm on 73 minutes. I'm getting a little bit of a knocking, an echo sound in here. What's going on at the moment? I don't quite know what we're doing. Anyway, we're going to take a little bit of music, and we're going to be coming back in about 7 or 8 minutes' time with Mandy Tarot Card, and I don't even know her surname, but I'm sure she'll tell with that. She'll tell all about the dogs, and she's really excited about coming on the Saturday afternoon sports show here at Cool FM. Not nervous in the slightest.
We play it. Cool FM.
I'm getting knocked.
Ken Scott here from the Saturday Sports Show.
Just come up and
Catch
change
myself
password.
and the one and only Flying Pig every
I'm saying I'm hearing little knocks.
for all the latest
Is that what
sports
it is?
news and live
Can you get it
football
on there then?
scores. And not forgetting great
Where
music.
is the password? How did you know I changed password?
Put it in
Oh, he put it into my WhatsApp.
Benidorm at 18, I think.
I wondered what that was for. Hang on, right. Benidorm what?
Lowercase, Benidorm.
Hang on, let me just get back to it. Password.
Lowercase Benidorm. All Benidorm.
Benidorm 18.
And then the @ sign 18.
Benidorm 18 what?
Benidorm at 18,
Oh, at
the
18.
@ sign.
Toot. Not a very good singer there, Flying Pig. The Spencer Davis Group.
Davis.
Keep on running magic music. We'll have for you right throughout the afternoon. We've got some split ends coming out. The Selector, the Specials. We've got the Spencer Davis Group. The Monkeys. We're going to put some Monkeys on, some Bee Gees, some Kim Carnes, Rolling Stones, Queen, U2, and the Eagles. Unfortunately, Flying Pig, the guys in the Potteries aren't looking very happy today because what has happened?
Yeah, it's confirmed, Scotty, that Stoke have definitely been relegated now. With the other games that's got to be played over the next week or so, they can't possibly stay up. They are relegated. It's official.
Yeah, it's because Southampton plays Swansea. Is that right?
Yeah, two or three of the bottom sides play each other, so
They will have to get a point.
Yeah, so Stoke have definitely gone.
But West Brom are still hanging on by the skin of the teeth.
They're still hanging on. Today it just depends. They've got to win today. They've got to win both games to stay up. To be honest with you, which is highly unlikely. And
Hang on a second, Flying Pig. Hang on a second. They beat the mighty Newcastle United last week. 2 weeks prior to that, they beat Manchester United. And I think they beat Tottenham as well, didn't they?
And they drew with Liverpool as well.
Well, that's not such a difficult thing, you know. But yeah, listen.
We've got Spurs today of West Brom.
That's what it was. That's where the Tottenham was coming.
Week, so.
Yeah, but a difficult task. But I tell you what, they've hit a rich vein of thorn.
Too little, too late, mate. Too little, too late.
Okay, now what am I gonna ask you about now, Mandy Tarracott?
You're going to ask me about fundraising.
Fundraising, talk to me. Tell us how we get some money into your glorious organisation.
Well, we usually choose a dog to do an appeal for, and we beg.
You beg?
We beg.
Yeah.
We put a photo of the dog on, and we beg for the travel funds to get the dog to the UK. We also have a €5 a month club. Every month, Becky will send a private message to whoever wants to sign up to it to remind them to pay the €5 via PayPal at costablancadogholding@yahoo.com. We also have a raffle at the moment. There are still numbers left. It's for 1 week in Almeria. Someone has given us the biller for a week. There are still tickets left, and they are €5 each.
Okay, listen, I'll have a little go at that. I know Flying Pig will have a go at it, Big Dunk will have a little go at it. So which website do we go on to join that raffle?
You go on the Costa Blanca Dog Homing website.
And then into PayPal?
On Facebook.
Facebook?
You choose your number, Becky will give you your number, then you pay via PayPal, Costa Blanca Dog Homing @yahoo.com.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and everybody out there, I think, if you've got a heart for your dogs, which we all have, a £5, it's nothing, is it?
Absolutely nothing.
I think everybody can afford a £5 every month, Mandy, was it?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Every month, yeah, Becky will send an email or a PM to everyone that signed up for it. All you do is pay your €5 in, but it really, really helps us.
And remember, these dogs are on death row.
They are.
Aren't they? They're on death row.
They are.
I hate to be as blunt as that, but they really are on death row, and we need your help, ladies and gentlemen. So Costa Blanca Dogs Home on Facebook. That is the easiest way to get in.
Costa Blanca Dog Homing on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, you see, the thing is, everybody can help. You don't have to adopt a dog if you don't want one. Not everybody can have a dog, but everybody can help if they just put a £5 a month in.
A £5 a month, and an additional £5 for this wonderful villa. We'll have a villa for a whole week in Almeria.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff. Okay, we're coming up to the top of the hour now. It's 3:57 and 32 seconds. We've got to say goodbye to Mandy, which has been a marvellous guest. Let's everybody give her a round of applause. And her friend Anne, who is over there. That's her over there, look. She's been there, but she won't come on camera and she won't come on the radio, but that's not a problem as long as the girls have came in and said what they need to say. That's all we're worried about, as the phone won't stand up. But as I say, we're coming up to the top of the hour. It's 2 minutes to the top of the hour. We're going to take a little bit more music, and then we'll come back with all of the goals from the Premiership, none of the goals from the Championship, because that doesn't happen until tomorrow, League 1 goals, League 2 goals, and we're going to concentrate a fair lot on Scotland today.
Are we? It's about 4 games.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I'll be right back.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I
No,
miss my
thank you
mate.
so much for all this.
Medplaya Hotel Spain, celebrating 50 years of providing top quality hotels and customer satisfaction. Medplaya Hotels offer first class entertainment.
Yeah, and even if they don't
Lemmy and Motorhead, the ace of spades. I once had a scrap with him at Redden Rock Festival, but that's another story. Tell me about some goals, chaps.
Yeah, if you're coming through here, Barnet, big goal there. Barnet 1, Chesterfield 0.
Oh,
That's
Barnet.
Morecambe.
Bad news, and that's what you predicted only 5 minutes ago, Flying Pig.
Swindon 2, Accrington 0. Accrington already the champions, but losing at Swindon 2-0. Queen's Park 1, Stenhousemuir 1 in the Scottish. And Dumbarton 1, Arbroath 1 at the minute. In the Premiership, no other goals to report, but I do believe that Newcastle could have been in more trouble, couldn't they, Duncan?
Yes, they could. Troy Deeney had a penalty penalty saved, apparently. Right-footed shot saved in the bottom left corner. And then he went close again. Left-footed shot from very close range. But
Newcastle getting absolutely
Newcastle,
battered
yeah,
today, aren't they?
it sounds like they're
Absolutely
getting a
battered.
cushion,
It's
yeah.
a nothing game. We're mid-table. We've nothing to play for. Rafa's just taking stock for next season and just gathering his troops.
Will he be
in the
there next
circle.
season?
He'll be there next season.
Can I just say one thing? They can still have, we're talking about Liverpool technically could finish fifth. Newcastle have got to say in all this because Newcastle play Chelsea the last game of the season next week. But they also play Spurs at home, which will be a midweek game.
With 6 certain points then.
So,
really.
but I mean, what I'm saying is,
6 points, Newcastle easy.
Liverpool's fate could be in Newcastle's hands. That's as it sounds.
That would be good. Then I could have a little wind up, like you guys have had a little wind up this afternoon.
And you've got Agent Milner as well representing.
Agent Milner, the man that we made, just like the Bionic Man, Steve Majors. We made him.
Hey, it's half
we
time,
made him.
It's half time at Watford.
Is it?
Yeah, Watford 2.
Oh well, they're going to get a bit of a drink, a cup of tea, and they might come out a different side.
Okay, I'll tell you what we'll do. Well, I hope so, Flying Pig. I hope so. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll take a little bit more music, 2 more tracks. What we're going to have U2. We'll take a little bit of America, and then we'll come back with the half-time roundup. How does that sound, lads?
Yes, fantastic, man.
Brilliant.
Professional, highly trained and experienced team at HL Mechanics.
Where the streets have no name, U2. Wonderful, wonderful tune. Listen, give me a tune of the Premiership, Big Dunk. Half-times.
Okay, mate, it's Bournemouth 1, Swansea City 0, Leicester City 0, West Ham United 1, Watford 2, Newcastle United 0.
Blatant offsides, both of them.
West Bromwich Albion 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0, and it was there was an early kick-off which ended Stoke City 1, Crystal Palace 2, and then there's this game later on today which is Everton at home to Southampton.
In the Scottish Premiership, and don't forget, this is the second phase of the Scottish League that we've entered into. That's when the top 6 split from the bottom 6 and they play each other once. And whoever wins, it makes no difference to the table. It's a split table now. Don't know if you realise that, but it's a split table. Scottish Premiership is Dundee 1, Hamilton Academicals 0. That's how it finished. It's Aberdeen 0, Hibs 0, Motherwell 0, St Johnstone 3, and it's Rangers 0, Kilmarnock 0. What do you want to do now?
Yeah, you carry on with your Scottish.
Scottish Championship, the playoff semi-final. It's Dumbarton 1, Arbroath 1, Wraith Rovers 0, Alloa Athletic 1. Now, just to tell you, lads, again, it's a complicated equation. Dumbarton is of the Premier Division. Arbroath, Wraith, and Alloa all are in the Championship, and it's a case of they go into semi-finals and they get one team which actually goes into the Premiership. In Scottish League 1, again, it's a playoff semi-final. It's Peterhead 1, Stirling Albion 0, Queen's Park 1, Stenhouse Muir 1. Scottish League 2, they're at the final there. Cove Rangers non-league, and Cowdenbeath bottom of Scottish League 2. It's 0-0 at the present time.
Okay, Scotty, we'll go into League Division 1. And it's
I wouldn't bother because they don't kick off till 6:30.
I meant League Division 2. Yeah, well, a bit of prophecy there, wasn't there? I thought it was being a bit like Mandy with a tarot card reading then.
Well, I would have been straight to the bookies if you'd got them right.
Right, League 2. It's Barnet. These are all half-time scores now. It's Barnet 1, Chesterfield 0, Cambridge 2, Port Vale 0, Carlisle 1, Newport 1. Coventry City 0, Morecambe 0, Crewe Alexander 1, Cheltenham 1, Exeter City 0, Colchester United 0, Forest Green 0, Grimsby Town 0, Lincoln 0, Yeovil 1, Mansfield 0, Crawley Town 1, Notts County 0, Luton 0, Swindon Town 2, Accrington Stanley 0, and Wickham 1, Stevenage 0.
Where we're going to now?
Where are we going to now? Where do you want to go to now?
Listen, that was a big goal for Lincoln. If you just go back to League Two for a second, that will almost cement their playoff places. Mansfield, how are Mansfield doing?
They're losing Scottish.
No.
Yeah.
So it looks, as it stands at the moment in League Two, to the delight of Mr. Kevin Brough in Altea, it's looking like the promoted teams, as it stands at the moment: Exeter in 4th, Notts County in 5th, Coventry in 6th, and Lincoln in 7th. The fact that Mansfield Town are getting beat is a big relief, wouldn't you say, to those teams in 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th places.
Yeah, obviously Mansfield losing 1-0. They've got to turn that around. They've got to win to have any chance of getting anywhere, and that would only be goal difference if Lincoln stay on the same. But I think if Coventry, with this 1 point they've got, are pretty safe up there.
I don't think that's been updated. That's as it was this morning.
No,
so
it's not. It's updated. It's 46 games. It's updated.
Are you sure?
Yeah, 100% certain.
No. Yeah, well, you're 100% certain is wrong, because there you are that I wrote down this morning. Lincoln on 74 points, and they're still on 74. They are now on 77. Mansfield are still on 71, but Lincoln are now on 77. Coventry are on 76. And the team above them, Notts County, are also on 77 because they've got a point. So listen, we'll not take too much of what you say of your 100% certainties.
The shots have been fired
there.
You laughed at Watford, didn't you? But I've got you there, boy. I've got you there, boy.
Can I just correct you there?
Come on, dig yourself out the hole.
The reason that Lincoln are still on the same points on Dr. Tell is because they're losing. They're losing.
Yeah.
So they're on the same points now as they were before they started.
Yeah, but go back to it. You said that's updated, and
Look,
Lincoln are winning.
No, they're losing 1-0.
No, Mansfield are losing.
And Lincoln are losing 1-0 as well. Come on, Scotty, get your grip.
Get under the results. I won't have this.
What does that say there?
Oh, okay.
Knock him out for that.
Hey, what's wrong?
Right, listen, cut the live broadcast and let's go to some music.
Do we hear sorry?
I thought Lincoln had scored.
No, they're losing 1-0.
I thought Lincoln had scored.
It had to be an updated table because they've all played 46.
But I made a very convincing argument, didn't I?
It sounded right.
Didn't it?
But he was too quiet. I knew he was coming back at you.
We're live again on Cool FM. If you want to see our little ugly mugs, we're also live on Cool Pundits. Facebook, both Facebook sites, those guys, and we were live earlier on with the lovely Mandy from the Doggy Club. Can you remember the proper name?
Be careful.
Benidorm
Doggy
Dog Rehoming, wasn't it?
You mean Dog Rehoming Club, not the Doggy Club.
Dog. I didn't say dogging. I didn't say dogging. I said doggy.
Oh, right. Just
Maybe it's the same thing. I don't know.
I don't know what that is.
We don't get up to that sort of thing in the northeast of England. It's only over the northwest that they get into that sort of game. Listen, it's 6:15 again, and it's that time of the day where we take a look at the tables, who's went up, who's went down, who's going up, who's going down, who's won leagues, who's lost leagues, who's been relegated into oblivion. Flying Pig and the Scow-Scally Big Dunk there. Do you want to tell me, are you happy today with the results that leaves your club quite clearly in third position?
Yeah, delighted, obviously.
Great result for you today, West Brom beating Tottenham.
Yeah,
great result.
Yeah, 1-0. We've got to, obviously we've got Chelsea next. I think a point will do. We can, I know we're focused on the Champions League, but like you were saying earlier, we could end up without top four qualification, Champions League qualification or whatever. So we've still got to play for that, so we can't ease off yet.
But Clippity Klopp must have been clapping his Clippity Klopp hands today when he saw that West Brom goal go in the last minute, Flying Pig.
Oh, absolutely. That is a West Brom. Come on.
I mean, we've been every week. We keep saying they're done, and they've climbed up now. They've gone up one. Look, second from bottom, West Brom there. Look. We would never have imagined this comeback.
A month ago. I quite agree
No
with you,
way.
but there again, look at the games in
Nah,
hand.
they're going to do it now.
Southampton have 2 games in hand over them and they're a point ahead, and Swansea have 1 game in hand of them and they're 2 points ahead. Huddersfield also have 2 games in hand and they're 4 points ahead. I'm sorry guys, I'm going to have to disagree with you. I still think West Brom have had
Right,
it.
well, just let me tell you something now, Scotty. Right, big game. Swansea are on 33 points, Southampton are on 32, West Brom are on 31. Southampton play Swansea on Tuesday night.
What a game.
Yeah, so it
And
could...
don't forget that Southampton play today as well against Everton. If Southampton get anything out of that game, Swansea could be in big serious trouble.
I think Swansea could be in big trouble anyway. I think they're looking favourite to go down.
Look at what Huddersfield have got in their next 3 games.
Yeah,
Man
yeah.
City, Chelsea, Arsenal.
The only thing that Swansea might come round with is that they've got Stoke at home on the last day of the season.
Yeah, and they're relegated. They were relegated today, as you know. They didn't get a result, so they go down.
Can
but
West Brom stay up?
it's very exciting.
Can West Brom do it? Yes or no?
Well, they can get 34 points if they win the last game, right?
One word answer, Flying Pig. Yes or no?
Yes.
It's a no from me. Big Donkey, you've got the casting vote.
I don't think they can do it, but I want them to do it.
No, I don't
I
think
know.
You know,
Seriously,
I want them to do it. I'm going to say yes, but
I don't
I'm
think they
telling
can,
lies.
personally, but I'd love it because
Love it, just
the
love
fighting
it.
spirit, the fighting spirit.
And do you think, in all honesty, lads, do you think it was the way that Alan Pardew prepared them throughout the season?
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, obviously.
Mr. Pardew, you couldn't buy a win for that
How
club.
did
and as soon
Newcastle
as you
get on
left-
today again?
Never mind Newcastle. I mean, that was a nothing game. We're still in 10th place, mid-division. Who won the Guineas, by the way? Do you know? Horse racing? Anybody
No
know?
idea.
No.
We'll have to have a look at
But
that.
I mean, bottom of that table is so interesting.
It is.
You know, it's going
That
to go
game midweek,
right
I can't
down
wait
to
for
the
that.
last kick of the game.
And
Yes.
unfortunately, we can't bring you a show next week because we are commentating at Lanúthia.
on Sunday.
in their, I think, penultimate game of the season. So that's a bit of a shame for you out there in listener land if you want to be tuning in to the Super Sunday next week on the Premier League. I'm afraid it ain't going to be Big Dunk, the Flying Pig or Scotty because we'll be at Lanúthia. You can tune in to... I'll tell you what we'll do, lads. I'll tell you what we'll do. We do a live broadcast from Lanúthia next week. Why don't we get to Lanúthia fairly early? Maybe
As long as it's not windy like last week.
well, listen. You know, you eating beans on toast until they go out. The fashion's got nothing to do with our commentary. But listen, why don't we get there for about 4:15, 4:30, and go live from that point on in, and then we'll have all our system up, and we'll bring it. We can do it there. We'll do the live broadcast from there. How's that?
Yes.
Yes.
We'll do that. Absolutely fine. So broadcasting live from Lanúthia next week, next Sunday on the Premier League Super Sunday, where we will bring you all the goals as they fly in the Premiership of the English Premier League, and then about 2 minutes after the Premier League finishes. I was going to say Accrington Stanley there because I can see Accrington Stanley on the screen. No, Lanúthia will kick in and they will play their penultimate game of the season, and we'll bring you live commentary on that as well.
Yeah, bearing in mind that won't be live on the radio, it will be on the
Facebook Live.
Facebook Live.
It's also going to be coming from the radio as well.
Yeah.
Our producers tell us it's going to be the first live broadcast.
Aiming for that, yeah.
Oh,
from
right.
there. So
I
it
take
will
it
be
back.
live on the radio and of course on the internet, that wonderful world wide web.
And on Cool Pundits, eh?
And on Cool Pundits as well. We'll be going live on Cool Pundits, so you can not only hear us, you can see
Live
us
everywhere.
as well.
Everywhere.
Live everywhere. Now, nothing to talk about in the Championship this week because they all play tomorrow. They all kick off tomorrow, and that the Championship Championship will be decided. Just in case it's escaped your attention, Sunderland were relegated a couple of weeks ago. They're now 6 points adrift at the bottom of the table. They will be playing Accrington Stanley, Luton Town, Wigan Wanderers, to name a few, next year. But anyway, nothing to tell you about the Championship, nothing to tell you about League One, because those games will be kicking off in 9 minutes time, and I'm afraid we won't be bringing you coverage of them because we've got other things to do. But League Two table, Flying Pig, what's happening?
Yeah, well, as we knew before we come on air today, that the 3 promotions had already been decided. Accrington Stanley won the league on 93 points. Second was Luton on 88 points, and Wycombe Wanderers was third on 84. And I think it stayed the same. The teams that were in the playoff places actually stayed there. So the 4 teams that are going to be playing off for promotion is Exeter City, Notts County, Coventry and Lincoln City.
And at the bottom, Big Dunk, take us down to the bottom of the table and watch the big smile creep across the Flying Pig's face as you mentioned his beloved Morecambe.
Chesterfield are obviously rooted right at the bottom there. Barnet just above them, but Morecambe, they've managed to survive Flying Pig. We've been, people can't hear you. You've been ranting and raving when the music's been playing, and it looks like your Morecambe side, your side have just done it, mate. It looks like they've survived.
On goal difference.
On goal difference,
Bit
minus 19 Barnet had, and Morecambe scraped up
thought he was going to have an
minus
attack
15.
in the last couple of minutes.
Incredible. Obviously, if you were watching live, you would see him tearing his hair out.
But you got to look at it showed.
He hasn't got any hair.
It showed you Barnet. Most of the Barnet fans were distraught at the end of the game when they
won 3-0
because the last 5 Barnet games they were rooted to bottom division. The last 5 games, 1 drawn, 1 won, 1.
Wow.
And they still went down.
What a run that is.
I know, incredible.
I do feel sorry for him in a way, but I don't.
No, you've got no sympathy for him, mate. Just think about yourself.
1 drawn, 1 won, and they've gone out of the league, which is a great shame, really.
They'll be out in force picking cockles from Morecambe Bay tonight, Flying Pig.
Well, as long as they don't get caught in sands if they're walking across there. It's a bit dangerous there up on Morecambe Bay, you know.
It is, so I believe there's a few...
Ask a few Chinese.
Yeah, a few Chinamen.
Moving on.
No, you can say that, but you shouldn't have laughed afterwards. That's what you shouldn't have said.
No, I shouldn't have laughed, no. I didn't really mean it like that either.
Hopefully none of our 150,000 listeners have picked one up for that. This one might be making you force an apology. Look at Victor.
I might have to have a notice after that.
You might do.
What a weird way to end your P45 in. Get a look at that Scottish Premiership table. Let's have a look at Scotland or something.
Yeah, Scottish Premiership table. Read, Scotty.
That's important as well because, as I say, it was very important that Rangers got a victory today to keep them in the Europa League place. I have to tell you that China isn't in Europe. The Aberdeen in second place on 69 points, and of course Celtic on 78 points. Hibernian are still in with a shout of getting that final place. Big Dunk's away, he can hardly stop laughing. I think he's away to get a drink of water or something, but never mind. So yeah, Hibs in 4th place, just outside that Europa League place. Rangers and Aberdeen. If you go down to the bottom of the table, we've gave you all the results. It's playoff territory. Now listen, Flying Pig, one thing we had was Cove County against Cowdenpeath in the Scottish 2nd Division, and it was a final game. It said final, and then they gave us a 0-0 result, and they said final score. We said it was going into... No, that's his Cove County.
Yeah, it just give a final result. I mean, if it had been going into extra time, I think it would have said.
Possibly a 2-leg affair.
It might be a 2-leg affair.
Possibly a 2-leg affair.
Or just a replay.
Okay, we'll take a little bit more music and we'll come back and we'll tell you about the games tomorrow. We'll tell you about Man United and their fine performance against Brighton last night. And then I'm afraid it's home time for us. But we'll take a couple of tracks and we'll be right back.